Manchester, home of City, home of United, home to Oasis and home to the Roses. A city known for its people, a city known for its culture. But unknown to many, Manchester's once the mecca of Thai boxing in the UK.
How would I describe Muay Thai? Muay Thai is a very old martial art, comes from Thailand. It's known mostly for its striking and attack capabilities, but also has a lot of self-defense in it. The old form of Muay Thai is known as Muay Baran, which was taught to the soldiers protecting the country time ago, and they used it on the battlefield. Muay Baran helped Thailand win its independence. Muay Thai was then promoted within Thailand as a combat sport. Known to a lot of people as the science of the 8 limbs, Muay Thai uses basic 8 weapons: 2 fists, 2 elbows, 2 knees, 2 legs. And it's become very popular in MMA. Dedication is one thing, obviously. As with any martial art, if you want to be a fighter, you've got to dedicate yourself to training. So that's the main thing. Natural ability, which some people have, some people haven't. Perseverance and hard work. A respect for the martial art of Muay Thai as well is always going to do you good when you want to become a fighter. My best memory of Muay Thai is when I became an instructor, and I get a lot more out of teaching, I think, than I would out of just getting in the ring and fighting with someone. Muay Thai in the Olympics, I think it's going to promote the sport. They will obviously are going to have to change a few things about Muay Thai in the Olympics, because it's a very brutal fighting martial art, and I think they're going to have to kind of bring it down a little bit so it's not so brutal. But other than that, I think it's going to promote the sport very well and get a lot more people interested. Everyone's an individual, but what I think the main thing it does for most students of learning a martial art like Muay Thai is it gives them something to focus on. Some people come to me, they don't want to be a fighter, they just want to know how to defend themselves. Other people want to get fit, and it's a better way of getting fit than just going to the gym, because obviously they're learning lots of other things with the martial art. And yeah, it helps people. You know, what's good for the body is good for the mind. So.
As you move from the city to the suburbs, the culture of combat sport continues to thrive.
The national sport of Thailand is from Thailand, you know, and it is a very, very, you know, ancient sport. It's got a lot of historical connection, you know, over 2,000 years, you know, and you know, at one time Manchester was the mecca of Thai boxing. I think all those roots are still there, because I think when you look at it, it's expanded out around the areas with that initial group of people, and it's formed quite a unified group of gyms. I think what Muay Thai has to offer as a sport is endless. In principle, I think it gives me better life qualities, and both physically and mentally. And one thing that I enjoyed about it was the equal community and respect everyone had for each other. And now I've got my own students. Ultimately, that's a very, very rewarding process. I think a lot of people who walk through the door in this gym and many other gyms, they have a go at this to try and you know, either improve themselves or to change their life in some way or another, and that could be from anything, from either for weight loss and getting fit. They might have sort of maybe mental health issues. The benefits from training Muay Thai can give great opportunities, because you know, when you're physically fit, you feel mentally fit, you've got the social skills side of it.
I started training because in like start of high school I used to get cold because of my skin, and then one day I started a fight with some girl because of it, and then it got videoed, put on social media, and it went viral, and my mum and dad tried everything to get it took off. So like eventually they took it off on Facebook, and then we got brought here, and then I've started training ever since then.
You know, she came through the door obviously with, you know, issues as in terms of what linked into bullying from school, which again is another major thing for, you know, not only kids but in some forms adults. She's come through the door you know, and gone on to become double English British international champion, junior mentor, training instructor, and you know, by literally walking through the gym door, it's like that one decision, isn't it? To try or train Muay Thai or martial art can change your life, you know, for good. And you know, like I say, for their moving onwards, future career. Not every single student or person who walks through that door wants to fight, because ultimately, you know, the reality of it is the hard work, the dedication to put in it, not only physically but mentally, to prepare for competition is very, very demanding. You can't not go to the gym. It's one of them that's like, oh yeah, it's dead sunny today, I'm going to go to the barbecue, go to the pub or whatever. You can't do it. You know, you prepare and you commit to competition, you've got to run, you've got to train, there's no excuses. So ultimately training then becomes a must, and like you say, you've got to, you know, train hard and fight easy. It's not only, you know, the pressure to train and to be at training every single night, your diet, it's also your social side of it as well. Do you know what I mean? You isolate yourself from your friends, from your family. It's a very selfish route when you become a fighter, because you've only one thing to think about, and that's you, and that's being in the boxing ring. Everything else becomes second. So for that period of your training camp, everything else comes second to your training, and that's what's difficult.
My school friends get involved, like they come and watch me fight, and like best friend always comes, like she watches me train, but it's very hard.
I mean, for me, it's the reason why it's become multiple champion now. You know, it's a testament for all the hard work and effort. And I mean, Beth's school, you know, so Stockport School have been excellent. You know, we communicate with the school and they work very closely with us, so she can have time off school for elite training programs. You know, it takes someone very, very strong-minded, very dedicated, very committed. As a whole, I don't think it's in a better place, and it's only going to improve, I think, you know, with people behind it and what's happening. So yeah.
Once a student at MSA, Paul is now crafting the next generation of fighters out of his gym in Reddish.
My uncle Nigel, who's related to me, he said, oh, I'll take you to a proper martial arts place, and he decided to take me to Master Sken's Academy in Stockport, which was not karate, it was Muay Thai. And then I went there, they was like banging pads, kicking stuff, hitting stuff, just fell in love with it since. To be honest with you, if I'm saying like to a complete beginner, I'd say, you know, depending on what they wanted to get into it for, if it was someone who's really angry and aggressive all the time, it could be perfect for him to go into competition and understand it's not about being like that with everyone in general life, do you know what I mean? And there's certain ways and times to take your aggression out. And then for the other side of it, maybe someone a bit more timid who needs to come out, they might think, oh, it's a bit scary, I'm not going to that Thai boxing gym. But the thing is about Thai boxing gyms, most of the time they've got that respect and discipline side of that there. So, you know, you could come in a gym with the lads, like, I'll be honest, a lot of the lads here, they can fight, they can throw punches, they can kick real hard, but if they went with a beginner 9 times out of 10, they're gonna really look after that beginner and help them as much as possible. But if you want to take fighting to a bigger level and a higher level, it takes a lot more than what people think, just to change your diet to get down to that certain weight.
So yeah, it takes a lot of dedication, fighting, training twice a day.
It's not as easy as what you think, is it? You know what I mean? It's not as easy as what you think, man.
Like 6 to 8 weeks you fight camp, that's where all the hard work's done. You know if you've beat your opponent there, you know if you're slacking basically, and then on the day it's just whatever happens, you either turn up or you don't. You got to put together everything that you've learned and make it pay off basically.
The way how I look at it, it's Muay Thai, it's not like boxing or it's not like any other sport like that, because for the simple reason you don't get paid for it like how you would do as if you was fighting in boxing. If I was a boxer now, I'd probably be getting paid millions or hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, whereas in Muay Thai it don't work like that, and you've got to put in the same amount of graft, if not more of a graft, because you're still fighting at that elite level. So that's the difference. You're more doing it for the passion and the love of it and the name of the sport. So, you know, if you want to get to a high level in the Muay Thai, it takes some serious dedication, and I've got some serious dedicated lads.
I turned pro when I was 16, did my first C class. Went over to Germany to fight a couple of months ago.
I love Muay Thai, it's just that it keeps me occupied through the day, and hopefully one day I'll be a successful fighter.
They do realise, or as they start fighting, as they start taking the fights, they start realising, like back afterwards to get a few knocks, a few injuries, and obviously because like I said before, it doesn't pay a lot, they've got to work at the same time, so you can have a real tough fight. You know, you're talking about going in full contact, slamming shins, knees, elbows to the face, and you know, if you get even like just off kicks for example, you start slamming your legs in, sometimes you can't walk or you can walk but you're hobbling around for a few days afterwards, and if you've got an active job like a building job or something like that, you know, someone could be so talented and could be the best fighter and could get to a real high level in the sport, but yet they can't afford to do that just for the simple fact they've had 1 or 2 fights and they've experienced the pain and feel it and think, nah, do you know what, I need to work. Don't pay enough. Fighting's mint, and the experience of it and the feeling of it afterwards, and when you win, everyone's going, oh yeah, that was a sick fight. You get to hit pads hard, when you get to hit someone hard and you see it land and you see the effect that it has, you know, you get to take out some aggression on someone. Sometimes that can be nice.
It's clear that these fighters do what they do for the love of the sport. The future looks bright, and one day soon Manchester will once again be the mecca of Thai boxing in the UK.